Yeah, turn my volume on. People can see us now.
People can see us now.
I better turn my phone down. This is not what I wanted, but you play music right now?
Yeah.
Just something light, and then mute our mics.
Let me see.
Welcome to Old Carver Fishing Podcast. Tonight's guest is Minnesota Catfish Guide Zachary Rothbauer
Music's
of
still going.
River Addicts Guide Service. Let's get in there. It's going to be a good one.
Why do you say that?
Does that feel like something just popped in my ear? It was too
I
loud.
just got a text that music wasn't still going through, but your voice came through. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's a podcast.
Hey, guys. Welcome to Old Carver Fishing Podcast. I'm your host, Luke Henches.
Man, you're really not feeling it today.
Across from me, we have Chewy Godinez Jr., co-owner of Old Carver Bait and Tackle Shop,
Yeah.
and Monty Bait and Tackle Shop.
Oh, yeah.
So we got Carver and Montgomery.
I'm Montgomery.
And there's nobody else in here today except our guest. So
Yeah.
it's a small house today.
It's good, though.
Our guest is a good one. You guys have seen him in some of my videos. We've caught fish together. Big ones, too. His name's Zach.
30 pounds or big ones.
He goes by Z. He goes by Z Roth. River Addicts Guide Service out of. Well, he fishes the Minnesota River. Would that be a fair assessment?
Yeah.
You're gonna be well. Are you gonna get into the sturge?
Maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future, but right now,
guiding sturge.
catfishing.
Yep.
And I met him through. I knew about him through a friend, but I met him through the bait shop, I think.
Well, first time we met, I lived in Bemidji.
Where did we meet?
Bellplain Boat Launch.
Okay. What boat did you have then? Your Kingfisher?
No, I had a 14-foot John boat.
14-foot John boat. Jeez,
Yes.
my memory's good.
You did not remember that part.
No.
No, he didn't.
I
Every
didn't.
time I
I didn't remember at all, actually.
Stream, he always said I was the guy who bought his graph when I never bought his graph.
It's not true. I don't even know what graph it would have been. I'm not sure. But Zach here lives. He lives local around the Belle Plaine area. He doesn't live in Belle Plaine, but fishes a lot of Belle Plaine, and he fishes a lot of the river actually, not just Belle Plaine. I don't need to call it where you're fishing. I don't know why I did that.
Well, I mean, my main stretch is Belle Plaine to Mankato. That's my guiding stretch.
Yeah, Belle Plaine to Mankato is his guiding stretch. He's the only guide in that stretch.
Yep.
For the most part, yeah. I mean, he is.
Yes.
And there's other guides that fish other parts of the river, but nobody's putting them big fish in the boat like Zach does.
No.
I mean, that's just the
Not that
reality
we've
of.
heard of.
It's just the reality of life.
Yeah. Nobody puts those big 25-pounders.
Jeez, Chewy, that's harsh.
What?
25?
Well,
Like I said, no, fair enough. That's big to you because
according
you've
to
never
the
caught one. so.
No, might be 38. But according to the Catfish League, what was the biggest one you caught in the Catfish League?
In the Catfish League,
Yeah.
43 pounds.
43 pounds.
That's a big fish.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So you just talk shit.
No,
No.
just one time.
Jeez, Chewy.
No, you got another 40, didn't you?
38.
38.
How many? How many did you catch this year? Just
Well, I could have caught one, but when I went out with Luke, he was not being a very good host, so he just hook set it, brought it in.
what was it? Was it a small flat? I don't even remember.
Like 15.
Oh.
Remember you heard it? You heard it was hurt pretty bad.
I'm glad you've had the same experience I have in Luke's
Yeah,
boat.
no,
Mhm.
yeah. I couldn't cast. I obviously couldn't set the hook either. But I can watch.
He physically couldn't cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he knows how to cast.
Yeah, whatever. It says, I don't want you to cast because you might lose my weight. I'm like, really?
Probably kind of like me. And
But he wanted to just take it and whip an 8.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, it
It's
ain't
like,
happening.
This is a cast.
Because you know what that means? I have to retie it.
And I got to see him slice his finger.
Oh, that sucked.
Yeah, that sucked bad.
Well, that was a flathead we ate.
Yeah, it was that was midnight 2-rod. Yeah,
That was the night that 2-rod went live.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were out there.
A lot of fireworks that night.
Yeah.
Literally, like people were just boom, boom.
Yeah, we had an awesome campfire.
Well, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure we had leak night that night, didn't we?
No.
Wasn't it?
Mm-mm.
No. Mm-mm.
I don't think so.
I could have swore it was.
No, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was league.
Because I was pretty stoked that I was just like, oh, hell yeah, everybody.
It was league. It was like, remember the two boats sitting across?
Yeah, because they were saying, because they say, "Hey, can we use 2 rods before midnight? Will we still be legal?" And I'm like, well, no,
It's illegal.
it's illegal.
Illegal.
Even
Who
in
commented?
Response. We got
Cat Claws. What's up, Cat Claws? Journey to the river banks. Someone else commented. Why are some hidden?
It's right there. You're right there.
Shiniest, best kept boat on the river.
John Boat, probably.
Fish the day away, 97.
Sean Anderson.
Yeah, it's definitely your boat. He ain't talking about mine.
Yeah.
Zach keeps his boat shiny.
Well, try to.
Yeah.
Oh, he's talking about the new one.
Yeah, it's
Oh, I thought you were talking
Kingfisher.
about the John Boat.
His new one. His
Comment
new
came out when you were
Kingfisher.
talking about the John
Yeah,
Boat.
Sean doesn't like to work on my boat.
Talk in your mic a little bit, bud. Pull the mic to you.
Yeah, yeah.
There you
There
go.
you
go. Better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he doesn't like to work on my boat.
Who cares? He took that on. He has to do it. You hear me, Sean?
Sean just fixed
Right.
my boat.
He literally.
All right. I don't like tying your damn jigs, but I did them anyways, right?
Sean.
You work on that boat.
That's not the right Sean.
Yeah,
What?
it is.
You tied jigs for the boat, Sean? Boat guy, Sean?
Sean Anderson.
What's the marina?
Wide open marine. Yeah.
Shoot.
Nick
There's
Rose.
a quick
Yeah.
shout out.
Yeah. This. Nick Rose.
Oh, what's up, Nikki?
Mama.
So let's talk a little bit about Zach.
Whoa,
Since the
whoa.
podcast's about Zach.
Oh, hold on.
No,
hold
no.
on.
We're done.
Nick Rose Outdoors.
Wait, what's that?
What's that about, Nikki?
Outdoor page? I didn't even know that was a thing.
There you go. I'm here. That was way back. No matter it was way back. You work on his boat.
I mean, you do live in the same town.
What's Nicky Rose Outdoors? I want to know what
I've
that's
never
about.
seen that.
Is that a new YouTube
It's a
channel?
new thing. Well, let's get into the podcast here. So our guest, Zach Rothbauer, local guy, local to Belle Plaine. He's from the Belle Plaine area.
Yep.
And tell us, Zach, tell us a little bit about your start to fishing and then transitioning into guiding on the Minnesota River.
Growing up, I did a lot of trolling for northern pike with my dad. That got pretty boring pretty quick. One day we were out fishing in the wind. Didn't work out, so we went down to the river. Didn't catch a thing, but there's two guys on the river that came off the river, and they had a live well full of channel cats. And ever since that day, I was like 10 years old. Ever since that day, I just became like really intrigued with the catfish species. I hadn't caught a flathead up until I was like 12 or 13, but I went down there on my bike relatively regularly. But after I started catching flatheads, I knew at a young age that I wanted to guide one day. I just didn't know when that would be But within the last 2 or 3 years, I decided to finally pursue that, and then went and got my captain's license. Went and did all my documentation for everything, and
Yeah, if you guys don't know, to be a guide on the Minnesota River, it's a lot of stuff.
yeah, it's pretty
It's
great.
a Coast Guard. It's a federal license you have to have. It's not just you can go guide people on it. Not only that, you got to be fully insured. You got to take urine tests for drugs,
Yeah.
random UAs. You got to renew your stuff. It's a lot of work. People think I want to be a guide until they realize how much stuff is actually involved in being a guide. And
Well, even with the requirements of just having everything on your boat you need, like all the distress signals, everything has to be to code. I mean, it's just a lot of money, a lot of time. It took me over a year and a lot of money to get it. And here I am today.
Not to mention all the BS he had to deal with.
it's a lot of stuff. And he needs to make sure he has certain stickers in his boat. And he needs to make sure he's got everything in compliance. And like there's certain things he can't do in the boat. It's just there's a lot of rules
Yeah.
to do it legally.
Yep.
Obviously guides break rules, and
I had a few hiccups along the way, but
yeah.
got everything sorted out and hitting the river weekly.
Yeah, it's been is this your first full year?
Yeah, first full year. I started last year a little bit and then proceeded to finish everything up this last winter and started right away. I think my first guide trip was beginning of June, and since then there's guide trips all year long.
That's good.
Yeah, he took off.
Yeah. Big time.
Because previous years he talked about it. And
Yeah, I know at first you weren't sure if you needed the Coast Guard thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I reassured you that was the fact.
yeah, because when I talked to you, I was just like, no, I talked to the DNR. I talked to
Yeah,
the Coast Guard.
They were wrong.
I contacted 15 different people through the Coast Guard to finally get a straightforward answer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's weird how you can't get the right answer from one person that should know the answer.
It's like calling the DNR office.
well,
Right.
what had kind of sucked about that is I went public with everything already, and then they had to be shut down. So that's why last year didn't really work out, but this year, the full-time year.
Yeah, you had a busy year. What was your thoughts on your first year guiding?
What was my thoughts on
Yeah.
it? It took off way more than I expected it to this year. This year, for what I had planned for, I'd say I was overbooked. But next year, I'm wide open, and I'm already accepting deposits for next year.
Yeah, so if you want to get out in a sweet jet boat, get on some big fish.
Yeah.
Zach, we have a really good fall spot we found out about this year in Belle Plaine. He's gonna be sitting there we probably sit there every night now, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, flats are pretty much over for me, but yeah, I was sitting there at that spot we'd found.
I'm talking about the corner.
Oh,
You'll just sit there.
Oh, yeah.
Heard that's a good spot.
How many people can you fit in your boat?
How many people can I fit in my
Yeah.
boat? I've guided 5 people,
Ooh.
other than myself.
I'm just
So
wondering, because Luke said that you two sit there.
What?
No, I'm just wondering.
What did he
What did he
say?
say?
I'm just wondering. You can fit 5 people in your boat, but only you and Zach sit there at that little spot you got, right?
Don't worry about what we do.
Mhm.
We catch fish.
We catch fish.
I think Chewy's
later.
implying he wasn't invited.
Pretty much, just like the duck hunting trips that he took, just like the Monday Night Football game he went to, all that.
That was a good game the other
It
night.
was. That's probably what might throw her. All that
So
yelling.
funny story. We'll get back into the guiding stuff. I got a funny story about the game.
Yep.
So I was talking to my buddy. He obviously plays. You guys know he plays for the Vikings, and I kept bugging him. Not bugging him. I said, are we good for the Niners game? Because I needed 4 tickets. I'm like, I want to take my sister, her husband, my brother-in-law, and her friend, and my friend. And he's like, I got you. That's like, he might have me. That's what that means. He's like, I got you. And I was like, it came like 2 days before the game. I was like, bro, do I need to like just plan a different game? Because I got this whole day planned out for the game, And he's like, oh, I got the tickets. And I was like, well, you didn't even tell me. So his girlfriend sent the tickets to my email. I'm very grateful for that, by the way. He doesn't have to do that. And we go to the game, and we were sitting by what's your problem?
Nothing. I'm listening to your story.
Well, we were
bro.
sitting by all the guys we know that play his girlfriends, and my sister was there. Travis was there. My buddy Tut Outdoors, he was there as well with me as my guest. And then, like, towards the end of the game, she's like, do you want to go in the family lounge? I was like, I don't know what that is, but let's do it. He's like, you can hang out with Pat for a little bit and see Pat. And apparently every other player on the team. And so we go, like, through these elevators, down these stairs, through another elevator, and end up in the basement where everything is that happens underneath. And there's, like, 4 clearances you got to go through. And I'm like, we're talking to this guy. He's real tall. And he was with a girl there, and I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. He had a hat on, kind of was really quiet. And we got in the family lounge, and we're hanging out, and we were chatting with him. And Tut's like, stay a little bit further away from me. He's like, you make me look so short. He's 6'9", and we're hanging out, and then a bunch of family members are in there. You could see cousin's brother was down there. It looks just like him. We're like, oh my god! And I was like, oh, that's not even him. And so we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, Addison, who had a giant game, comes in, and I met him and shook his hand, and all of a sudden, he's taking a picture with this tall dude, and I'm like getting out of the way. And if you see Addison's Instagram post, I'm in the corner of that photo. That tall guy was Jaden McDaniels. He just signed a $140 million contract that day for the Timberwolves. I had no idea it was him. We were talking to him, hanging out with him for like an hour and a half, and I had no idea who he was, which is fine. I don't watch Timberwolves basketball. But, yeah, it was Jaden McDaniels.
Well, to that comment, I probably doubt that none of them are going to want to fish with you either.
That's fine. But he was there to see Addison because they're both number 3.
Is that all? Because they're both number 3.
Yeah, and he just signed his contract, and I think it was like a big. I don't know if they're buddies outside of it or not. But
I imagine they are.
But their girlfriends were hanging out together, so I imagine they are. But yeah, no clue. $140 million man. I had no idea. I don't watch basketball, so feels like Kevin Garnett. I would know who it is, but he's retired.
Yeah, I don't watch sports.
No.
Taller than you.
But it was a heck of a game. It was an amazing game to be at. Chewy, you should have been there.
Shut your mouth. I'm going to wait until you see Lupita.
Why?
She's got enough to say.
I bet she does.
I forgot. I'm going back to that secret spot of yours.
Yeah. There's somebody else was sitting there this whole year, did not move, which is fine because he caught a lot of fish. So it's a good spot. I'll be going there a lot next fall.
Go back to
with the boat, though. I'm just going to park right in the middle.
Just so you know, that spot won't be good unless water's low.
I know. Yep, it's a very spot specific.
Yeah, it's very like I grew up fishing that corner, and I mean it's changed tremendously. I mean, it used to be deep on the one side.
Dude, it's changed a lot.
Yeah, and well, in a few years,
a couple years that there won't be water there. So
no,
I mean the river channel is actually it's cutting across to the bridge. The whole corner above one of the boat ramps is completely going to disappear in the next couple floods.
Yeah.
It's halfway through already.
Mm-hmm.
So that corner will become an oxbow lake.
Yep.
Which is what happens naturally in rivers. As rivers get older, they straighten out naturally. That's why the Mississippi is so straight. It's an older river. Minnesota River is really windy. It's a young river. It's the Minnesota River is the main drainage from Lake Agassiz, which was a glacier lake in the Red River Valley. And the Minnesota River was actually the main flowage out of Lake Agassiz. That's where the Minnesota River came from, or that's where it formed the River Valley. So the River Valley used to be all water from the flow. So you can imagine from Jordan coming down the hill at Long Lake there, all the way to the other side of Jordan, coming out of Jordan. That used to be the bottom of the river, the whole thing. And the water would go from side to side.
What?
Miles across, yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's a cool little fact about the Minnesota River Valley. And that's why you find shark teeth in the Minnesota River. You find prehistoric art bones from 5 to
There's some
6.
shark teeth in the Minnesota River.
Oh, there's a lot of people find them. Yeah,
the people that lived on the Minnesota River.
people now you can find them now. They're fossilized teeth.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody posted some, and the biologist actually said it's quite common to find shark teeth in the Minnesota River.
What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. There's some gold, especially around like Sand Creek here in Carver.
Didn't somebody post a skull or something recently? That
6,000 years old, found in the Minnesota River.
Bison, right?
A human.
Oh no, I'm talking about the bison.
Oh, a lot of people find bison. Yeah, that was normal. But they found that human skull that was up to 6,000 years old on the Minnesota River a couple of years ago. That went back to the tribe. They sent it in thinking it was part of a crime scene. It's kind of some controversy behind it, but it was found on native land, so natives ended up getting it back because they submitted the skull to forensics, but then they found out it was 6,000 years old, and then they wrote a big story on it, and then they had to give it back to the tribe because they had rights to it. So that's just the way it is.
That's wild.
Because it wasn't in a crime scene anymore. It was an artifact.
So why did they get it though?
It's their land. It's on the reservation.
Yeah.
And if it's like old or artifact, they get it. So you can't take stuff off of it. It's just a loss.
Well, I mean, you can take it. You just don't say nothing.
Yeah, this was already in like a magazine. They pulled all the articles and all
Really?
that. Yes.
Just a skull though.
Yeah, it's cool though. How is that old? You know. It's cold in here.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything.
Yeah. Holy
It's not
cow,
cold, bro. I'm
Freezing
comfortable.
over
bro! You're wearing a sweatshirt and a t-shirt.
With
So
his hands in his
that's- so
pockets.
yes.
Yeah, hands are in
cozied
your
up.
pockets.
Luke's coming to confirm I am smart.
Yeah,
It's not like you've never been in this room before.
it's colder today. It's
It's not
fall.
cold.
That's why.
It's not.
Your hands are in your pockets, and you just put them up for 1 second. He says it's
Well,
not
that's
cold
that's
in
how
here.
you tell. You know, you're warm, and you put up your hand and like, oh, yeah, it's cold. It's not. It's decent.
Is that Rika?
I have no idea who that is.
Oh, whoever it is keeps going in and
Probably,
out.
I don't know. It's probably the little girl. Anyways, you know how many people want to become guides here, and you know they'll ask me, and I'm like, dude, I have no idea, but you know I'll tell them about Zach, and so Zach's getting it. They said the same thing, that they were told they didn't need it, and one of them is Trevor. You know Trevor. I forgot his last name.
We don't have to name
His
drop on the
it's
podcast.
He's my buddy. And he was the same way as Zach. He said, no, I called him, and then they said that we didn't need us as well. Zach's
You do.
getting it.
Yeah, it's
Zach's getting
If
it.
the water hits the ocean, you need to get it.
yeah. The theory is basically if you can throw something in the water and it could theoretically make it to the ocean,
Hmm.
you need it.
Yeah.
Well, and there's lakes and other bodies. of
Some
water,
lakes you
still
do.
need it.
Mille Lacs,
Yep.
Lake of the Woods,
Yep.
Why that? Why?
because they're more dangerous bodies of water. They're bigger
Okay.
bodies of water.
That makes sense.
And Lake of the Woods it's just, I think it's just those two, isn't it? In the
There's
river?
plenty. I mean, you can look up the federally navigable waterways.
That's the one. If it's
And-
federally navigable, you need your Coast Guard.
So
Yeah,
now,
so if it's on the list, you need it.
when there's changes to the rules, regulations, whatever it is, do you get notified, or you just have to find out? How do you find out?
Yeah. So I renew every 5 years, so I'll find out then too. But there's the maritime. I forget how to word it, but there's an email that's sent out from the National Maritime Center
Like
that I get
update
notified
what's
on stuff
going on.
like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was the only thing I was thinking. I know it's what if they change the rule? Like you just got it, and then like next summer now there's a new rule. How does he know about it? How does he find out?
That's good. It's a fair question.
You know.
Yeah, I don't know the exact answer on that other than I should be notified by it.
Did you keep track of how many flatheads you boated this guide season?
Yeah, I don't have an exact number, but I lost count at over 70.
That's good near. That's really good. A lot of channel cats.
I'd say 50. No, I caught less channel cats this year than I did flatheads.
That's cool.
But
you could have if you would have wanted to.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I'll say the one person that never stops catching big fish in my boat is Dominic.
Yeah.
That kid, I can bring him anytime, and I'll tell him. He's just like, well, he'll say, well, where should I cast? And it's like, well, if there's going to be a big one, it's going to be right there. And every time he's pulling a 45-pound fish out.
Yeah, he caught a lot of big fish with you. Elena caught a giant with you.
Yep. That's actually kind of cool kind of a cool story. We launched and there's this new creek that I saw and never fished it before, but there was a really tight seam on it. And I told Elena, just cast straight out right on the seam. And she casted it out, but then she set it in the rod holder, and it was like the weight just kept rolling down the river.
Never stopped.
And she set the hook, and it was a 44-pound fish.
Wow.
It's a big fish.
Instantly. There's
That's
another
quick.
time on a guide trip this year. I cast it out right next to a root ball, and it dropped, and in my hands, the flathead smoked it, and I handed it off to my client.
That's cool. I've had that happen very little times. But sometimes you put it on their face when you cast it in the right spot.
Yep.
That's the thing with flatheads, man. People don't get is there's a lot of people that go out, And for instance, the guy I took out that I filmed a show with, I caught that 40-something pounder. He caught like a 30-something pounder, and he went out for 3 weeks in a row, and he never caught a flat. I think he was just doing something just a little bit wrong because there's certain spots where you cast where it's going to be good every time, and then half the time you throw a rod somewhere else and you're like, it's just a bonus rod and it might get touched. But
Right.
if you know where to cast and what seems to push and where to set your bait, you could watch someone fish a spot and you could maybe not even catch a fish there if you didn't know where to cast.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to a spot, like you said, when you cast out, you could cast in one spot and not get anything all day, but if you would have casted in the spot, that's more what I'm trying to get at is when you get to a spot, you can tell where in that spot that fish is going to be sitting.
You just kind of know. That's time on the water, Chewy.
How many did you boat this year?
What?
How many did you put in the boat?
Over 50 in my boat, not me catching.
Let me just say that all those were during pre-spawn.
Some of them were. Zach's trying to dog me when I bring him on my podcast.
According to the catfish, you didn't catch nothing.
What's that? What's the catfish league?
Oh, me?
Anyways.
Him or me?
I don't even know what that was.
I was going to say because Catfish League this year.
Who won the
really
league?
irritated the
Did my
hell out of me.
roommate win?
No.
Jake?
He was
Yep.
close still.
Yep.
Jake won?
Yep.
Uh,
I actually totaled that up the other day because I was curious. This year really irritated the hell out of me.
you were close, huh?
No.
Oh, you weren't?
3 nights where I didn't put anything in basically
Yeah,
due to
that's not
fog.
good. Yeah, it's
Screwed
brutal.
me.
Fog sucks. That's a fact in life.
That's the thing. Some of these guys can navigate through that. I mean,
Well, yeah.
Well, I upgraded my
get their
lights now.
spots, they can navigate, get to that spot, and then they get that advantage.
Yeah, there's no navigating once the fog comes. You just
Well,
go slow. It's the
Well,
only
and
thing you can do.
How do they get their spots?
this time of year when you're
They're already there and they don't move.
this time of year when you're
Fog doesn't roll until like 2 or 3 a.m., Chewy. It's not like it's just there all the time.
well, there's plenty of nights isn't at like 11, and I sat
Yeah.
in one spot for 9 hours
And waited.
and waited and waited because the only way I could move is if I get on plane, and getting on plane wasn't an option because logs, trees.
It's hard. I had to idle from Carver all the way to the hunting spot the other day in fog. I couldn't see 10 feet in front of the boat. I had to idle all the way.
Your buddy's there.
Wade? Yeah, you could have came in, Wade.
Yeah. I thought he was up north. I thought you were up north, buddy.
She says I keep cutting off. Oh, never mind. That's not what it says.
What does it say?
No. It says stop cutting Zach off. Sorry, Zach. I didn't even know.
I'm cutting you off too, so it's
Yeah,
okay.
he's cutting me off too.
I'm not cutting off anybody because I'm not talking.
You never do. Just another day.
I just say I'm like pretty.
Another big news in Zach's world of the guide service. He was added to the you know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
He was added to the Catch the Fever guide team, which is a pretty small list.
Yeah, I heard it's a good story.
What?
Isn't there a story to that?
No, he reached out to him and they accepted his offer to be on the guide team. That's all. There's nothing else to it.
Yeah, I mean, I bought like 9-10 rods from you this spring.
All right, here's the deal. Here's what happened.
No,
No, this is true. This is a true story.
He reached out.
No, time out. He did reach
he
out.
deserved
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
He reached out. I said, you should reach out to Catch the Fever. And he never heard back. So I said, hey, what's going on with the guide thing? Not like promoting Zach. He's like, then she said to me, this is true.
Yep.
She said, our system's down, so we're not even getting applications. Have him apply here. That's.
Yeah, so I had to apply
So
through email. And
that was my
basically tell
help.
Them,
It wasn't get Zach on the guide team.
Yeah.
It was I sent him to the right spot
I
to
never
actually
said
apply.
that. I
You
never
were
said
trying
that.
to give
I
apply
did
there.
not say that.
hold on.
That's
I
good.
will
Here we
say
go. Here we go.
the main reason I ever even tried Catch the Fever was because of Luke. I reached out to him this spring and asked if Catch the Fever offered spinning rods because I run spinning rods for all my clients. And he said they did. So then I came into you, bought about 10 of them,
Yeah.
10 of them.
You had the biggest purchase of the day on opening day.
Yeah. And then loved them so much that I reached out to them. And then I asked Luke, I was just like, I don't know if they even got it or not. So then he reached out to them for me because he
They
knows
have their direct, the direct lines.
he knows a few people
I'm
there.
in there,
And
So that
he
means
told
that-
me exactly where to apply and reapplied.
There you go.
Now I'm on their team.
Yeah.
And
Good story.
super stoked and excited to be working with them.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're good.
It's a good
Okay.
company, good dudes. Chewy's met them.
Fantastic product.
They're good dudes.
Medium heavy all the way.
You love
Across
the
the board.
medium
I
heavies.
love the medium heavy.
It's a great
Mhm.
sturgeon rod too. I just got the new yellows.
I'm honestly thinking about going yellow across the
They're
board.
just so bright.
Yeah, so bright.
You saw the force rod.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
The force rod's pretty much the same color, almost identical to the same color, and it's like Tony, one of the owners of Catch Fever, is like it's just brighter than everything.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of guys went all yellow too. Some other guides.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to because like the orange and green glow, but then when you try to glow those next to the neon or the
It
yellow,
looks like nothing.
it's going to be
Like
like
my
no
force rods,
comparison.
my force rods next to the normal Hellcats, which are still bright. It's so much brighter.
But I mean, there's a lot of times I can't even glow them because of how bad the bugs are out there.
That's the problem. Nothing you can do. My little blue light helps. I can keep it in the back, but then I have an inch of bugs in the back at the end of the night.
Right.
But it seems like that's kind of the route a lot of companies are going. I mean, we carry a lot of neon rods at the bait shop. It seems like everyone's kind of going towards those neon.
Because of that. But
Yeah,
it's-
people like seeing them. And then you got Chunky and Haz that have the black light rod shows. They obviously didn't originate black light fishing with neon rods. We've been doing that forever with Tomcats even. I mean, 10 years ago we were doing blue lights and stuff, but
Right.
it's still cool. It's a big market for that in the rod world. I think there's still more room for more companies in the rod world.
It's just part
But
of
how many rods do you need? Catch a Fever had their composite and S-Glass, which is the Hellcat. It's a mixture of carbon fiber and S-Glass. And then Mad Cats came out with one called the Titan Carbon.
Mhm.
So they had that's a competitor for the Hellcat because the Hellcat, I mean, never loved it.
I think we sold them all.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But we ordered one round of Hellcats last year, and we ordered how many this
Yeah.
year?
They're
Holy
just
cow!
Guys that really follow those rods, and they don't care for the Hellcat rod. They
Yeah.
just follow the Mad Cat rod.
Some people love the Mad Cats.
They really love them.
They're good rod. I mean, Matt Knight makes a great product. He's a
Like,
nice guy.
Even the force, the force rod when we brought it in, we didn't say nothing, right? We didn't want to say anything because we didn't get that many. But I
Right.
said if they come in and they see them and they ask them, we'll let them know what they are.
Right.
And a lot of them didn't believe me that they came from Catch the Fever. They actually looked it up because they didn't believe me, and then they still didn't like it. They're like, "No, this feels really different than Hellcat rod." I'm like, "Well, okay, get a Hellcat rod then.
Right.
It's the same. I mean, get it."
Yeah, I mean, I guess if it's my preference, I'd rather have a Hellcat over a Force, but that's
Yeah.
just based on looks.
Yeah, I think the Force is all S class though.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I don't think
Yeah.
it's the Hellcat blank.
But
Or similar.
Well, I didn't say it was a Hellcat. I just said it was Catch the Fever.
Yeah, it's a Catch the
But
Fever
yeah,
rod.
this is all part of that catfish culture now. That you want those UV rods, lighting
Yeah.
up. It's just a thing now. You see it all over TikTok. You see it everywhere now. I mean,
Yep.
But then you still get the guys that come in and they want the Catfish Pro. They
want the standard.
They want the standard,
Yeah.
no flashing, no crap. They don't want nobody to see them. They're out in the water. They want boats to pass by and
Mhm.
not
Yep.
all this stuff.
I used to be the same way, man.
Yeah. So
Now I'm like shining bright,
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, I've passed you a couple times. And
You've seen it.
You'd quickly turn the
Whoa,
light off.
whoa, whoa,
so-
whoa, 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 whoa. No, no, no. Shh. What are you talking about? That's funny. It's so true.
what was your biggest cat when you were young? What was the one cat that is it just that
First
one?
off, he's caught the one I haven't caught yet.
My biggest 52 pounds. I haven't gotten that since I was I think I was 18 when
I think
I got
it used
that.
to be a little more common.
Yeah.
But that's 50 pounder in the Minnesota River is a big fish. Zach, you got guys like Robinson that have done it for I don't know how many times. Too many that I even want to talk about.
Jake's a beast now.
But those fish come back to the same spot every year, and I'm not saying he catches the same fish, but he definitely does catch the same fish a lot.
He knows where they're sitting. I mean,
The guy's been doing it a long time. My buddy actually got him into flathead fishing. My buddy Andrew.
Oh, okay.
But Jake's just such a good fisherman in general. So I mean,
Yeah, I really like Jake.
he's a good dude.
I think,
He's one. I always put if I didn't want to fish against someone in like a competition in Minnesota. Obviously, we go blue catfish. It's a whole nother story. They've never done that, but here there's two guys now I'm starting to think Zach's a little more into that category now too. Yeah, there's some guys that I like that are really good, and I just openly admit it's Jake Robinson and Eddie Church and Chris Baines and Pat Anderley.
like,
4 guys that are just really good at fishing that they're good at everything they're doing.
One thing I noticed about Pat and Cody this year in the league is sadly they didn't win any, but they were incredibly consistent, with poundage.
they always
That's how it
Their
was last year,
poundage
dude.
Last year, they were pulling. I don't think they won any individuals, right? They just won.
They won.
This year, I think they won one.
Last year they won
2.
individuals.
Yeah, last year they won it.
Oh, did they?
Last year they won the whole
Yeah,
thing.
I almost passed them at the last.
Yeah, it
in
was
the
one of
steamboat.
that was one of the best ones. Well, this one was pretty good too because we thought for sure Eddie was gonna catch Jake, if he got lucky. But
See who's in there?
Well, and right
Tara's in there.
when I started
What the heck?
in the beginning of the year, I was doing pretty good the first few leagues, and then
No way.
I'd have those ones in between that just like the one time I think I'd put in 3 pounds.
Yeah, so Channel Cats kept me in it last year, 100%. If you weren't there was a stretch where people weren't catching very many flatheads, and me and John were just crushing Channel Cats.
and there was a tournament this year. I can't remember which one it was. There was a week where the guys threw out 15 pounds of channels. They didn't register anything.
There's no point
They
in
kept
doing
zero.
that. That's so dumb.
They did the 15 pounds of channels. Or did they catch some flats? But anyways, those channels that didn't want to put in, it could have won it for them. And just because they don't want to put in the channel, and to me, it's just
Fill your bag.
That's what I always say.
Fill your
4
4 fish bag, and
We're
then
giving you 4 fish to put on there. Put them on, man. I mean, I don't know.
well, on the nights I didn't there was one night for sure I put 3 pounds in. There's another night I didn't put anything in. And I think there's one other one where I only put 12 pounds in. I put in every fish I caught. I just
have
it
to.
was just
Now, there's some guys
in
that,
the worst spot at the worst time of night to where I couldn't move. And it was just at that point I knew it was pretty much game over unless the fog lifted. You
Yeah,
know?
so if you guys don't know what he's talking about, so the fog, where Zach fishes and the water being so low this year, he can't navigate it on idle. It's too shallow. So he couldn't even idle through if he wanted to.
Yeah.
That's where it stops him. Like you think, oh, you could just go slow in the fog. You can't where he fishes because you need to go at 35 miles an hour just to get over some spots.
Yeah.
I mean, it got so sketchy when we got out there where it was getting, we're hitting some crazy stuff.
I will take pride in the fact that Luke said he's never become so trusting in an operator of a boat being in my boat.
If you guys don't understand the stuff we were going through, it's like hairpin turns at 40 miles an hour. It was awesome.
It's a pretty good
It's
time.
what you wanted.
You know, my eyes closed.
I will say that a lot of my clients this year were extremely happy with even just the boat ride. They said that's the craziest thing they've been on.
Yeah, that's the one thing I like when Luke takes off. And I remember the first time you took me out, you told me to look down, and all I see is just the sand. And I'm like, I do this bullshit, right? Shouldn't, but I did it anyways. And then just nothing but dirt in my hand. I'm like, what the hell's going on, dude? And
Shallow.
then you can't ride it to the bank, and the bank's like I can touch the bank with my hand. I'm like,
Mhm.
you don't think the boat will want to go, all the way to the side, but I mean, looking at Luke and then watching his videos is like for somebody to learn that. I mean, you're gonna learn it going out and hitting that sandbar and flying off your boat. That's the only way
Yeah.
I can
Oh,
say
and
you're gonna learn
Happened a
that
couple
route.
happened a couple weeks ago to me.
Trust me, I've had my hiccups.
Yeah, he's hit some sandbars.
Eddie Church saw me.
My
this year.
roommate
and
Eddie.
Eddie Church and
pulled him off a sandbar.
yep, league night.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
cool. Man.
My dad and I were coming down, and I saw Eddie. They waved at me. I waved back. Lost my hat. Turned around to see where my hat
See
was.
ya.
The hat landed in the boat. I came back around, sun glare, right into a sandbar. Like, basically not even in the water, sandbar. Like, completely lost my line. Dumb mistake on my part. I don't do that type of stuff when I'm with, clients. But when I'm with me and my dad, league night,
So
you go
you-
for it.
Yeah, the sketchiest time we
So-
had on the
so
river
you-
this year with
so-
me and Zach was when the sun was just crushing our face. It's so hard to see when that
Yeah.
happens, when you come around some corners and you can't stop.
No, you can't stop.
You just
because
gotta
you'll
pray.
Yeah.
We hit a tree a little bit.
Yeah.
But we didn't die.
No.
That's the key.
Well, I mean, I saw the tree and it was like, all right, just pin it a little harder.
Yeah, I beached the boat the other day.
Did you?
Right before that rain.
Yeah.
When it was really low.
Yeah.
I filmed that sandbar where my buddy was standing in the water ankle deep.
Yep.
Yeah. Tried that on the way back. It was no longer ankle deep. It was about an inch deep. And I actually made it across, but it jolted everyone in the boat. I'm not going to say who was in the boat. I was terrified. I was going to get sued. And I thought I hurt people. And it ended up being okay.
First time I hear about this.
I haven't talked about it.
Yeah.
I can talk about it now because he's okay. They're both okay. They
Mhm.
broke stuff when they flew. One's knee hit my live well. He's grabbing it in pain.
Oh God, I hope it's
No,
not.
don't. We
Oh.
can't say. I don't want. I can't say. We can't say who.
Oh,
but
wow.
But, I
anyways,
mean, based off being sued, I know who it is.
yeah.
Uh,
So it was
we got
scary.
Brandon Nyquist in the house and Fish Warner outdoors.
Fish Werner. That's my mom's maiden name. Hello, nice to see a podcast came out. Yeah, this is live.
Finally, right?
This is live. It's been a while. We've been
Busy.
hiding. We've been really busy with the new bait shop. Chewy's been doing everything he's ever wanted to do in his life, making lures.
And I can. I have to sneak away from this guy and go to the back room, and then he'll call me and I'll come back, and then like after like 4 or 5 times he calls me back. He's like, "What are you working on?" And he walks in and he starts giving me shit. Well, we're supposed to work on this.
I don't do that.
Yeah, you do.
It's stupid.
Yeah, you do.
Now I know how to run the laser machine by myself, which is nice.
Thank God.
So now he can pretend he's doing stuff for a couple hours while I'm doing that.
We do a lot of stuff.
That means you guys can start making me apparel now, right?
No. We gotta make ours first.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. I have a box
Yeah.
about this big, about this tall,
Still
full
got-
of clothes that I
got
need to
you and Shelly and
be.
Amy and we got the new Eric. He's going to be a new ice rod, custom ice rod.
Who?
This guy Eric.
Who's that?
He's one of the custom ice rod builders that is going to be working with us at Montgomery.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And then
I didn't know about that.
who else?
I'm in charge of social media. You think I'd know those things?
Yeah. That's true. That's very true. I had something here that I wanted to add.
Do you
Or Nick
have any
could say.
pictures?
Yeah. Give me a second. Okay.
Let's look at some pictures of Zach.
You want to run through them here?
Let's go through a few. Here we go.
Oh, yes.
That's Zach's identical twin, Zach.
Yep.
That's a good fish. How big was that? 41-ish. 39.
No, it's smaller than it
45.
looks.
Yep.
No.
45. Everything's bigger.
Yep.
There's one of his guide trips. It's a nice little teener. That is another guide trip.
Actually, no, that is my mom.
That's his. I knew it was, but I was just trying to sell it. There, right? It's a nice fish. Another one of Zach there. This guy, I've heard a lot about him. A lot of rumors. He's got a good stick, you know?
Yeah.
He catches cut bait flatheads in spots that don't get caught.
Yeah.
So,
He's got a good stick, huh?
yeah, he's got a good stick in the
Yeah.
fishing world. There's another Zach fish. Oh, there's a good one. That's a nice fish there. What do we got here? That's the old Dominic, the old shore fishing machine. He probably would have won King of the Cats this year if he would have not stopped fishing.
Yeah, if he wouldn't have
100%. He would have beat all the guys in the top.
Who's that?
Dominic. He quit fishing.
Yeah.
When it got good.
I
I
keep
think
telling
he got
him.
a little burnt
I
out.
keep-
He fished quite a bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you fish all night and then go to work the next
Right.
day with no
Is
sleep,
there more?
you get
Oh,
burnt
there's
out.
more. Oh, geez. Whole bunch more. And I did not check any of these photos. So, oh, I know this one. That's a good example of the stuff we go through. It's a good pick. Drone shot.
Thank you for that one.
Yeah, you're welcome. Another one of those. Oh, there's a nice flathead. That one, that's a nice size bullhead. Is that legal size?
Yes, sir. 10 inches.
All right, just want to make sure.
You're good. You're good.
Nice channel cat there. Do you eat that one or no?
No, let that one go.
You keep some channel cats for guests?
I've actually had 2 sets of clients this year that requested to bring a limit home, and I allowed them to do so.
You let them take flatheads or no?
No. Well, if they wanted to, they could take a small one. Yeah.
Small one, edible, an eater.
Yeah, that's
Selective harvest is okay.
That's a, yeah. That's what I was gonna say. That's
Yeah.
what do you do when somebody wants to keep
They're
flathead?
not going to let him keep a 40-pounder. I guarantee you that.
No,
They don't have
no.
a choice.
No.
Because that ain't going in his live well.
And is something to discuss though before you take off with them, or is it just something you like?
When they book a trip, they normally reach out and ask if they are able to keep them, and I say, yeah, any smaller fish we could keep for you.
Which is smart.
Yeah.
Another one there. Another one.
That one actually won me league one night.
Did it?
Oh, look at that.
Elena get the biggest one? Did Elena get the biggest one in your boat this year?
No, Dom did.
That one before?
That one right there.
This one.
Yep.
Was I
Dom.
with on that one?
Nope, that's Dom's personal best. We got that 10 minutes into the first spot.
How big was it? 48?
Jesus Christ, Don.
No, that one, I can't remember the dimensions right off the bat. I want to say it was like 43.5 by 28 inches or something like
Okay.
So
that.
what's Dominic doing, bro?
What?
So he catches that big catfish and he's not wearing my cap? What's he wearing? Twins cap?
It might be. It's a nice cat. You know? Oh, what
I'm trying to
else?
look for something here.
High hopes for a minute.
I apologize, but I really got to use the restroom.
Go ahead.
Go
Go
for it,
ahead.
brother.
Go ahead. Oh, that's going to be tricky to.
Yeah, that's gonna be great during the life pass.
Okay, Zach's going to get it, he said. Might be easier going under, Zach.
Under.
Yep.
How low that is?
Oh, it's a table.
Yeah, it would be great. Go under.
Yeah, you just got to.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll take it. Oh, he made it under without hardly touching
There
it.
you go.
That's pretty good. What are you doing, Chewy?
It's been I'm gonna show here real quick.
Wrong door. Is it locked? What?
It's not locked. It
No.
can't be
What are you looking at?
something here that I want to show.
I'm hungry.
It's taco night.
I can't eat that. I really like to, though.
Eat mushrooms.
Don't think so.
That either?
Deep fried.
True. Probably not a good idea.
No. It's not. What are we doing here? I feel naked without being able to see the comments. You
I'm
adding
trying to
something?
download some pictures, but I can't.
You can't?
No, I can't download.
I mean, it's
these
almost over
pictures.
anyways.
Yeah, but anyways, so
We took a couple months off. We needed it.
we needed it. I needed it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that people were upset.
I've been sick. I'm still sick.
Yeah, it was nice though getting recognized in was it Riverside, Missouri? Was it?
Somewhere in Missouri, you said.
Yeah, they stopped me and they said, "Hey, you look Henches." I said, "No."
Yeah, that's a big difference in human beings there, boy.
No. Then they said, "Yeah, we watch your podcast." I was like, "Hey, it's awesome." That's great. That's a great feeling that, that people recognize you. And then they said they met us at CatCon in Kansas City, but I didn't recognize them. I mean, we see so many people that
It's hard. Louisville's even bigger.
recognized. Yeah. Anyhow, so First Warner Outdoors, he is, I believe, 13 years old. He's an awesome kid.
Is he a
has
kid that comes in
YouTube
here?
channel, yeah.
Why haven't you ever told me about him?
You never. I don't think you've been here when he's come by. But I look forward to working with him, watching him grow. But yeah, he got a good channel. He has a YouTube channel. His name is Trevor, I believe, or Jacob Warner. It's his name.
Werner.
Jacob Warner. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I was trying to download his picture for some odd reason. It's not happening.
We can do it next time.
We'll do it next time. I told him I would bring him on the podcast, but he needs to get a little. He's only 13, so
Don't do that.
Older, yeah.
You
So
can't do
before we
that.
bring you in, but
We got to bring
we could-
Tut in soon. Tut
Yeah.
Outdoors
No, we
wants to
don't.
come in.
I got a meat tut.
I'm not bringing
Yeah.
anybody that hasn't invited me to go anywhere.
What?
You heard me.
You don't have time to even hardly do anything.
I haven't
in life.
invited you.
Yeah, you lucky
Yeah.
you're here.
Chewy's salty tonight.
Well, how about we
know.
go this upcoming year?
Oh, I can't.
He won't.
Oh,
He's
kidding me?
busy.
If I couldn't go with just one shot, imagine 2 shots and then the lures kicking in. Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
That's true.
I mean, we're working out. It's just more of wanting to be here,
yeah.
watching the business. It's hard to leave somebody else in charge.
Yeah, once you can get the staffing and all that figured out,
And we will. I'm pretty sure we will.
it'll be good. So, Zach, if people want to get out with you, they can start booking for next year.
Yeah. I'm accepting.
How do you want them to do it?
Well, they can either reach out to me via phone number
On your Facebook page,
no,
web page.
on my webpage. You can find my phone number.
What's your website?
River Addicts Guide Service.com.
River Addicts Guide. Isn't it guide?
No.
Didn't you have to change it or something?
No, it's River Addicts Guide Service on
.com.
.com. Yeah.
And on Facebook.
On Facebook, it's River Addicts Guide Service.
Yep.
And then you can directly message me through Facebook, call me, text me, or you can send me an email at riveraddictsguides@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's what it is. riveraddictsguides@gmail.com. And don't forget, he likes phone calls at about midnight since he has a new kid and stuff. So
Yeah,
just kidding.
Yeah, don't do that.
Call him during business hours, guys. Don't call him when you're drunk on your couch hanging out with your boys at 9:00. Don't call him and schedule a trip.
And I would like to point out, I am available Monday through Sunday. There is no day of the week that I won't do any guide trips.
Any day of the week, 7 days a week. He does exclusive trips. If you guys want me in the boat, it's a little bit more. No, I'm just kidding. No, but if you do, and you do want to fish with me, and you want to pay Zach to take you fishing, there's circumstances where I might come with and help Zach. So if you're interested in doing that,
Yeah.
if you want to fish with Tara, she would do that too, but that's an extra $500 or $600 to get in the boat if she's in there with Zach. So, but no, that's no, Zach's a great guide, guys. I fished with him a whole lot. Gotten to know him over this last year, and it's been really a pleasure meeting him and getting in the boat with him and taking him in my boat and getting in his boat.
I just really wish we would have caught some fish in your boat.
You know what? I caught quite a good amount in there this year. I've caught some big ones this year.
Yep.
Dominic's good luck. I've figured that out. It's either him catching a big one or me.
In your boat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But next year. I'll get into it a little more next year. I didn't do it as much as I wanted to this year. Pre-spawn was amazing, obviously.
Yeah, you kind of follow Dom a little bit, and you kind of slowly
just get burnt out.
fall out of it. And it's like a lot of guys don't realize that fall is like spring.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Fall's amazing. I still think pre-spawn is the best, but
for numbers.
But I think big fish in the fall is just untouchable.
Yep.
It's just reality.
I was wondering right now, Nikki Rose outdoors, does that mean that next year we'll probably see her catch a muskie?
Yeah.
I mean, should we take a bet on that one?
Did you see the ones Jacob caught?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Those are some big fish.
Yeah.
52 and a high.
52 and a half by
Did you
25.
see him, Nikki?
Yeah, giant.
Was that his first time out? I think that was his first time muskie fishing, wasn't it?
This is his first one he ever caught. Not
Yeah.
muskie fishing.
Yeah.
No, this was not his first time.
No.
But you're trying to make her feel bad. I'm not doing
I'm not
that.
making her feel bad.
He's caught quite a few in Tonka pulling crankbaits. So if you
Yeah.
go out in the fall and pull crankbaits for walleye in Tonka, you'll probably catch a muskie. We caught one last time I was out there pulling cranks too. It's like an upper 40 muskie. It was a good one.
Yeah, up in Bemidji, that happens a lot.
Mm-hmm. That's a good area. I forgot you were up there.
Yeah. I had a little hiccup and decided to chase muskies up there for 3 years and then came back to my roots as a river rat.
When it's all said and done, I mean, was it everything you thought it would be, guiding?
Yeah. Yeah. It's fantastic. I absolutely love, I mean, to this day, like, I'd say me personally, I caught 25 flatheads this year, and it was mainly in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
You know, it was either league nights or, and even on league nights, it was my dad. I'd hand them off to him or, stuff like that. But I really enjoy other people catching fish in my boat and showing them what it's all about.
Maybe a good idea for you to head to the, get in touch with Catch a Fever, head to the Catfish Conference this winter when we go.
Yeah, I think
hang out at the
idea.
booth and introduce yourself to people. And people have an interest of coming up here, not typically for flatheads from down south because they're obviously a little bigger down south, but the river itself, I mean, the Minnesota River is a world-renowned flathead catfishery. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. What?
Brandon.
What did he say? When I get stuck out there, who wants to pull me out?
I'll come get you, Brandon.
Yeah, we got you. Because I'll be calling you if I get stuck, so you or Zach.
Well, and I'll be calling you or Brandon if I ever
or
get
Ryan
stuck.
Ryan Herman, I'll call him too. We got a good little mafia of jet boats in that area, so I feel pretty good about it if we get stuck. But if you guys do want to get on some fish, I hope next year Zach starts sturgeon guiding because I think he could do really well at that.
Mm-hmm.
I think this river's got room for guides. You got a couple, and there's if you want to guide, it's really hard to get into.
There's a lot of interest in it.
It's a lot of work, but
It is.
it's a lot of work to be a guide too.
Mm-hmm.
People forget that putting people on fish it's pretty stressful.
A lot of people
lot of
don't
pressure.
realize what goes on behind the scenes. I'm out there away from my family 5-6 days a week, making sure I'm on top of the fish all the time.
And not to mention, you got to get bait.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's not easy, it's not easy for some people.
yeah.
you guys, you guys make sure you check out my buddy Chris Warner Outdoors on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Maybe you can get him to go out with you guys.
I can't plug him because I haven't watched his stuff yet.
Yeah,
Just
I
kidding.
plug him. Just playing, buddy. Jesus Christ, dude.
Can't believe you've never showed me.
Maybe we could it'd be cool if he can go out with you guys. I think he'll really experience something nice.
See a river kid?
He's a river kid. Oh yeah, I mean,
Does he watch my videos?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's all right then.
I don't think he watches.
But you guys, we will be putting out more rods and reloads videos. It's just
Soon.
we're on a little break. I put out a couple harvest videos
Yeah.
recently. That's about it. But fishing will be getting more. I'll do more e-bike stuff. I tested my e-bike on the river recently, on the river trails, and it was amazing. So I'm going to be doing that. So once I'm better. Kind of getting sick again with my
Yeah.
stomach stuff, so I got to go back to the hospital in the next couple of days, which sucks. But Zach's a great guy. Get in touch with him on Facebook or on his .com. And then, yeah, if you use code Luke10, you don't save anything with Zach. So
Now you got to use tree 10.
thank you guys for tuning in to this
Yeah,
Old Carver
thank you,
Fishing
guys.
Podcast.
Thank you.